not clear to you. But it is what it is. The Son just verifies by showing you that which was before not clear. Didn't change nothing, just verified what it really was. Beg your pardon? You just started. All this time y'all been here? From now on, don't have it on the screen if it's not broadcasted. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. Again, I say to those of you who are just arriving and those who we just now reaching on the internet, we're starting over so that you don't miss anything. We are thankful to Allah for allowing us to meet with you once again for congregational prayer service. We want to say to you that we can never overstress the importance of the keeping up of prayer, and we should always be happy when someone reminds us that it's prayer time, because that is what prayer is. If you notice, when you say your prayer, it serves two purposes. One, you reciting some portion of the revealed words of Allah, which you have, by way of prayer, committed to memory. And it is also to remind you and I that the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force, the greatest power that you have. When you understand that Allah is the truth, then you understand that when it was revealed to the prophets that the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force, the greatest power. It is the remembrance of the truth that enables you to take up where you left off. Whether you are, when you wake up every day, something that you started doing yesterday. The only reason you're able to take up where you left off is because you remember where you left off. You remember the truth, which empowers you to go back and continue what you started. The remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. The remembrance of Allah is what brings rest to our hearts and our minds. Surely, as Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." I will give you the truth from Allah that you have been searching for, and you can rest from that search. For you don't have to search for what you have found. And so it is my duty, as it is, since no one is now trying to debate whether I'm the rightly guided one or not, then I can really teach you because you are a willing student. And so in the third chapter of the Holy Quran and the 81st verse, it may be 80th verse in some of y'all's books. They got in a hurry with these books in, some of them. And it starts off section 9, the covenant of the prophets. Remember, I will teach. If you remind me tomorrow, I will teach on this in more depth. But right now, I just want to get to a part there. It says, when Allah made a covenant, when he made these scriptures, as the messenger told you, when people asked him, the question was asked, do you believe in the Bible or do you believe in the Holy Quran? The messenger said, no, we believe in both of them. He said, we made both of them. And the King James, they made no Bible. And the lady got offended because the messenger said, we made the Bible and we made the Holy Quran. When she should have, instead of getting offended, she should have asked, well, what do you mean when you say we? But she didn't ask. She was too busy trying to judge a messenger of God. So the we there was Allah and his prophets. That's who the we was. And since Elijah was one of those messengers or prophets, he said, we made her. It's like a scientist. If you sitting up in the a room with scientists and you ask him a question about Mars or whatever, he said, well, yeah, we went to Mars. Did nobody come here and show us how to get there? We went there. Well, common sense teach you in your world of language, you know that wasn't talking about. You wasn't in that we. Because you don't know nothing about it. But when someone is clearly more knowledgeable of a thing than you and seems to know about it, things that you never thought about, well, then you should understand that you ain't got no business trying to judge them. Either believe them, you either believe them or you don't. But you have no basis for an argument. That's why the messengers didn't spend no time arguing with you. They said, either accept what I'm teaching or leave it alone. Allah told me to say this to you and I'm saying it, period. He told me, argue with them in the best manner. And you finding out that when you thought you had an argument, you really didn't. In order to argue about a thing, you first need to understand the thing that you're arguing about. But it says, when Allah made a covenant through the prophets, certainly what I have given you of book and wisdom, that's the covenant. Then a messenger comes to you, verifying that which is with you. You shall believe in him and you shall aid him. And he said unto them, do you affirm and accept my compact in this matter? They said, we do affirm. Huh? A messenger comes to you, verifying that which is with you. I'm the one that was given to them, verifying that which they brought. Everybody got in trouble for calling the white man the devil till I got here. He shut his mouth at me. Because I don't say things to make mockery. You thought that we was calling him out of his name and that we was trying to insult him. That's not an insult to call you what you are. And who best knows what you are than your maker? You can try to rename them automobiles out there all you want, but the one who made them then already gave them a name. And when he come and tell you that, no, that's not what they are. This is what they are. And if you try to argue with him, you say, well, did you make it or did I make it? You don't hear no white people saying we didn't make them. Ask him, how did he learn how to make a white mouse? You know, you didn't even know why they call them laboratory animals until I told you. You thought it was because they had them in a laboratory. No, they was made in a laboratory. They didn't come from nature. I done caught a many mice. And they ain't never caught a white one in my house. Never seen one out in the field. Where did he come from? That's why they don't try to argue with me, because I don't just have to go to the book to prove where he came from. Make him own up to it. So this is not mockery. It is just the truth. Regardless of how he got here, he's here now. He's part of our family. You can't recreate yourself from the earth no more, even though we still used the material from the earth to make these bodies. But the first man didn't come from somebody's sperm. But we don't talk to you about no such thing, because your mind is not capable of that kind of intelligent conversation on that subject. Because even when you give the answer, you question the answer, which means you wasn't even up to the question. So I want you to remember that when you understand that Allah is the truth, then you understand why we say the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. So that's all you can do. You don't create the truth. Allah is not created. The form that Allah comes to us in is created. We created these forms here, you see, and took up residence in there. So if there is a God besides Allah, we don't know of any. I don't know of none. So I tell you what, tomorrow, if it please Allah, we will go into more depth on this subject. And as I told you, stop worrying about who's gonna go to war and all that kind of stuff. This stuff has to happen. It has to come to pass. But you who believe in me and believe in Allah's words, don't be afraid. No. There shall be wars and rumors of wars. So are you surprised that you hear rumors of wars going around? You shouldn't be. How many times you done read that? Is the Bible still a lie? Or is it the truth? For if you call the Bible a lie, you calling the Holy Quran a lie. Because it said it verified that which came before it of the Torah and the gospel. Now, if you show me another gospel, and ain't no sense in bringing me that so-called gospel according to Barnabas. Barnabas messed up when he tried to say Judas was transformed to look like Jesus, and that's who they really crucified on that. That's a lie. A made-up tale. So I don't want to hear it. The Holy Quran verifies that when they put Jesus on the cross. They said in boast, we killed the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, and they killed him not. Nor did they cause his death on the cross, but he was made to appear to them as such. And the Bible says, when the soldiers came, they broke the legs of the first one and broke the legs of the second one. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was dead already, he appeared to them as dead already. So they break not his legs. You through with presenting lies to us. These books are true. If you can find the lie in there, point it out. I tell you who the lie is. The book already said that, knowing you was going to call it a lie. Let God be true and every other man be a liar. You notice, the one that the word is with is God. This is him standing here. Let God be true and every other man be a liar. Now, if every other man ain't no liar, how come ain't no other man coming in here trying to argue with me? So whatever you was out there saying about these books, it's a lie. Otherwise, you came in here and said it to me. And since the word is with me, then God is with me, then God is standing here talking to you. We create the heaven and the earth with God, with truth. With God, all things are possible. And without him was not anything made that was made. Are you going to make something if the truth ain't with you to make it? You ever tried to do something and it didn't turn out right? You know why it didn't turn out right? Because you didn't know the truth of how to do it. When you know the truth of how to do a thing, it got to turn out right. Because that's the one thing that God is incapable of, is failing. Even matter something, we come this far by faith, trusting in the Lord, trusting in his holy word. And he has never failed me yet. That's right. That's just plain truth. That's gospel. Good news. So all praise is due to Allah. I'm not finna owe you no long time today. We are going to, I just wanted to strengthen your faith How you gonna have faith in something you don't know nothing about? You cannot trust in what you can't understand. But that which you trust in is that which you at least feel or think that you have a good understanding of. That's what makes you trust. I want you to trust in the Holy Scriptures. So I'm going to give you a good understanding of what you're reading. As the book says in Ecclesiastes, you've heard many times people come to me asking me what their purpose is, what the purpose of. The second chapter of the Holy Quran, it says, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Now remember now, the Son of Man was told to eat up this book and then go and speak with God's words. What did that first verse say? I, Allah, am the best knower of the Father. This book, there's no doubt in it. There ain't no doubt about it. It's a study guide to those who keep their duty, who fear. What is the duty? In the 12th chapter of Ecclesiastes, Solomon admonishes me, and so I admonish you in the 12th verse, 12 and 12. And further, by these, my son, by what? The words of the wise. That's the verse before that. Said, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end. Why? Why is making many books? There ain't no end to it. Because if all the oceans was ink and all the trees were pens exclusively to write down the truth, the oceans would surely be exhausted before the truth of my Lord. The truth is the beginning and the ending of everything. You don't ask where the truth began. The truth is the beginning and the ending of a thing. If you don't believe it, think over everything you have attempted to do and have accomplished. It had a beginning and it had an ending. And the beginning of it was the truth, and the end of it was the truth. Now, and it says, of making many books, there's no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty or purpose of man. If you doubt that that's the whole purpose of man, then show me something that your body does on its own in the way of doing things that the mind in it don't instruct it to do. The whole purpose of these bodies is to fear the mind and do its will. The whole purpose of man is to fear the truth and to obey the truth. Do you understand? Only a fool does not fear his creator. But you teach him fear. You know what creates a disobedient, hard-headed child? A parent that did not teach that child to fear them. They thought they could be friends with the child. The friend of fools is a fool. Foolishness is bound up in the bosom of a child. Speaking softly to him ain't gonna drive it out, but the rod of correction will. But that's what happens when you got people that think they know better than Almighty God. That is the person who is mastered by the devil. Their mind devises one illusion after another for them. And they never have time to sit down and think about how miserable they are following their own ways. The evil that comes to you is from yourself. The good that comes to you and I, since there ain't none good but one, and that is God, then all good comes from God, from the grantor of dominion. Look how magnanimous he has been. He granted every mind that's sitting here dominion over that body that is in. There's not a soul, but over it is one who has dominion from the grantor of dominion. And then told you, you can either choose to submit to me or not. But if you choose not to, the evil that come to you, don't blame it on me. See how we do? Stuff happen, and then we say, why did God let that happen? You let that happen. You made it happen. Why are you blaming it on the one who granted you dominion, and you didn't have sense enough to say, well, I don't mind having dominion, but you tell me what to do. That's my will, to put it inside of your will. You didn't have sense enough to do that. So whose fault is it when bad stuff happened to you? Didn't hear you. It's yours. See? So take the blame for what you to blame for. One thing about Rabbi Miller, he did tell the truth. He said, well, no, God didn't send no Judaism. That's our doing. Okay. So if you still want to follow Christianity and Judaism when you know it didn't come from God, well, that's you. Go and worship the devil if that's what you want to do. But his time is up. Now you go on and open yourself up to him all you want. When you come back later to me, I'm going to tell you to go back where you been. Now, so, now remember that. Let the devil save you, since you sided with him against me. So anyway, this is the day of judgment. So the truth about everything have to be made known to you. Even that which is in the devil came from Allah. Allah is all and in all. Ain't your white cells and red cells under your brain, under their control? The head of every man is Christ. When Jesus ran into the devil, he didn't tell the devil nothing but get behind me. I can't follow you. You're supposed to be following me. Do you understand? Get thee behind me, Satan. Huh? Yeah. So this is the day where the truth is come. So keep up prayer. Keep your duty. You know your duty is to fear God and keep his commandment. This book, ain't no doubt in it, is a guide to those who do what? Who keep their duty. Yes. So there's no contradiction between the books. So I'm going to leave it right there. And we're going to go on and have prayer and do what we have planned to do today. Let us stand. Hut and hut. Original salute. Ready front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continuously guide us and keep us on the right path and way. The straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors. Not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will be brought down, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray, even after they have heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. Truly, I have again turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright, to thee who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Truly my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death are all for thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. I know of no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I've been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults and weaknesses. So please grant me and my true followers and family continuous protection against all of our faults and weaknesses. For none grants protection against faults and weaknesses but thee. And guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts. For none can guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts but thee. And turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts. For none can turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts but thee. And O Allah, please continuously guide us among those whom thou hast and wilt guide aright, and preserve and perfect us among those whom thou hast and wilt preserve and perfect, and befriend us among those whom thou hast and wilt befriend, and bless us in whatsoever thou dost grant to us, and deliver us from the evils of what thou hast judged. For surely and truly thou judgest, and there is none that can judge against thee. And surely he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. And our Father Allah, in heaven praised is and be thy holy and righteous name. Let thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on the earth, as it is written in the heaven. Give to us this day the understanding and hearts that ever incline to thy truth and righteousness, and forgive us of our trespasses, and help us to forgive those of our brethren who may trespass against us. And leave us not during times of temptation, but stand by us and deliver us from all the evils thereof. For thine is the kingdoms of the heavens and the earth, and the power and the glory over them are thine forever and ever. Amen, amen, and amen. Hot, dance, hot. Original salute. Ready in front. You may be seated. As the scriptures teaches you that if God was your father, you would love me. As even in the natural family, it's just natural for children with the same parentage to love one another. So that prayer is befitting to start off our Father. It is the Lord's Prayer. And so we are going to give you the opportunity, if you have a question or something you want to ask me before I dismiss you. Yes.
Did you know some of your teachings been cut out
With
last night?
I think they had a little problem with the internet last night. So, you know, the one thing that, you can't hold other people accountable for what you heard, for their recording devices available to every one of you. You could record your meetings. You could record what you see me and hear me saying. Whenever you, don't leave everything up to them to keep a record of. Take your own notes. That's all I can tell you. That's because we don't control the internet, even though we are getting more and more people that are becoming friends of ours. Soon we will have enough friends on there that they will just keep everything rolling good for us. Once people find out what I'm really here to do for them, they won't hate me. They'll hate those who got in the way to keep them from really seeing me. Because I'm not here to do nothing but good for you, for all of you. I think it's enough evil been done to you already. I don't need to do no evil to you. I'm not going to do evil to you. If I can't help you, the only evil I will do to you is leave you alone. So Allah leaves them alone in their inordinancy, blindly wandering on. That's the worst evil that Allah could do to any of you, is just leave you alone. Because without his guidance, that's without light, you bound to run into brick walls. You bound to fall into a pit. You bound because if you can't see where you're going, you're lost. And it's written, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. We said the truth is the light. Well, the truth has now been made flesh and is dwelling among you. He was clothed with a vesture, with a garment dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of God. So, if I can't help you, I have no choice but to leave you alone. If you won't let me help you, well, I'm offering you guidance. You never even give it a second thought. That's the only reason you can drive down that highway is because the sun is out there shining, showing you the way to go. The physical light and the spiritual light working together. And the mental light. You had to learn how to drive a car. Then you had to learn where to drive that car to and where not to drive that car to. That's a mental and a spiritual mind working at the same time together. Have you ever sat down and had to think about, I wonder if I should go over there. I don't know if I ought to be going over there or not. Who are you talking to? That's your minds talking to themselves, between themselves. Say, no, I think I got a bad feeling about that. I ain't going over there. Huh? And the two speak as one. When the mind get made up, say, I think I'm going to stay here. Is that right? And then sometimes say, I think I'll go. you know. When in doubt, it's best to do without. Huh? Yeah. See, that's the one thing people never even give a second thought to, is the fact how they used to come in here. They didn't have no doubt that they were safe when they come in here to talk to me. That's why they talked any kind of way to me. But now, after they have gotten a chance to understand that I'm not here to do evil to them, now before they come in here cussing and swearing at me, they think. And when they get that feeling in their brain, like I told them, that's the only warning you're going to get is tightness in your head. And, you know, you better heed that. If you don't want to show me respect, don't come into my, if you don't want to respect a person, don't go in their house. Because if you go in another person's house showing disrespect, they're not wrong, you are. Because you're doing something to them that you would not tolerate in your house. It's not a one of you that in your house you don't demand that people show you respect. Or if you're a guest in my house, act like a guest. Don't act like you own the house, because I can put you out. Even a dog know he got his own tail, and he ain't got nobody else got no business wagging it. Is that right? Yeah. Dog will just reach around there and bite you. You wag your own tail. I got my own. I'll do my own. Don't you bother by it. That's what he's so much telling you. It's just like when the messenger had one time to tell people from overseas when they came to visit him that they was correcting, you know, saw something disrespectful that would have been considered disrespect over there. And the messenger put his hand up like that and said, "No, brother, I have to teach them everything." And he didn't have to correct nobody on that no more. Like, you don't go correcting my followers. If I'm sitting here, you let me correct them. Do you understand? Because you're just looking for something to find fault in them about. You know, if you know I see it, what you think? Did you see something I don't see? But you don't know where I brought these people from. It's just like going into the classroom, seeing youngsters that can only do addition, and you there complaining because they can't do fraction. There was a time when they couldn't even do addition. So, I'll take them at the speed that they need to go at. You wasn't worried about them before, so don't worry about them now. When nobody worried about our condition before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came up, wasn't nobody worried about us. They come over here and use us and kick us to the curb. Now all of a sudden, you worried about what we learning. You better keep your mouth off of me and my people. Now, if you can't help me to help my people, just leave us alone. We ain't bothering you. We ain't bothering nobody. Even if we wanted to bother you, we ain't got nothing to bother you with. You better take note of all these storms and stuff that's coming around here for all you planners. So leave us alone. I will help my people. And they gonna let me help them. So just butt out. That Bessie Smith sung that song. If we take a notion to jump into the ocean, ain't nobody's business here but ours. Since we ain't telling you to go jump in with us. So just leave us alone. Been in poverty over here, being mistreated and begging and crying for the past 400 and some years. Nobody showed up to help. And you saw us. And all you did was wag your head. Let me tell you, them folks is crazy. Knowing that you helped make us crazy. So I'm going to heal my people. So you'll see. I'm going to heal my people. So let us remember these things and remember, treat each other like you want to be treated. Look, I'm giving you the medicine. Now it's up to you to hold it down. I remember my mother used to give me honey when we got sick with colds and stuff. She would give us honey with lemons and just that thick stuff used to make me gag and I'd throw up. And so she threatened me. She said, you throw it up again, I'm gonna beat you. And I keep it down. And you know, but she knew what to do to make me hold it down. You know. And I realize now it wasn't her being mean, it was her caring about her child and was doing whatever she felt she needed to do to help me get better. You know, honey is a medicinal thing too, you know. Yes. So we learn as we live. Anybody else had something they want to ask me or share with me? Then may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. All right. Once the mind go, game over. It's a whole lot of games are going to be over around here pretty soon. Do you not see it? You better pay attention. This is a dreadful day. People's minds just poof. All right. Well, that's the punishment of feeding yourself garbage. You get sick. All these people eating up every lie that they hear come out of this crook's mouth up there calling himself the president. Just lapping it up. And so Allah letting them, he giving them over to a reprobate mind. They think it's funny. Man, trash in their country and they think it's funny. Well, If that's how you want to roll, well, okay. I did try to tell you. Yeah. When you don't know what you got, when you don't know the value of what you have, people can get you to trade it away for nothing. May Allah's salam alaikum.